What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Spang's World. We're in the shop today. We got the tube bender busted out. I think we're going to be building some tubing here. I've been looking at roof racks and stuff here lately. Been wanting to go camping and stuff more, do some overlanding with the kids. So we want to put the rooftop tent that we got. We've had it for a while now. We got a SmittBilt off Facebook Marketplace, and now it's time to put this thing on. We've had it sitting here way too long. And the kids are ready to do some camping. A lot of the options on the market and stuff I really don't like. More of like kind of like an exo cage-ish look. I'm sure they don't withstand like an exo cage, but either tie in down here, come up real high and stuff, and big bulky and stuff for the most part. Might as well give it a crack at it ourselves to make our own. And try and keep this thing as low as possible and do something different than the cookie cutter ones that you can find in the catalogs and online. And let's get into it. All right, we got our layout here on computer. Get our bends and everything. One of the good things about the Rofab bender here, you got these tube blocks that have the angles and stuff on them. You can lay everything out depending on how many of these you have. You can set up all your bends and stuff before you even make a bend. Get your rotations and everything right, unlike some other ones where you put it through, then you still got to angle it and everything, and you might end up being a little bit off. See how accurate this one is. We're just doing a couple simple bends. This is how I've been setting them up. I don't know if this is the correct way or not. I get my first one in, that's gonna be 0. And then depending on what your second one is, if it's gonna be a different angle or whatever, slide it in. Let me get this started. Get that in, you're gonna tighten it. And then use the angle finder, depending on what angle you have. Put the angle finder on, and then depending on where you're gonna be at on here, mine are both just gonna be 0, 0, so makes it easy. My table's not 100% square right now, so you can see it's 0.67 degrees up on the right side there. We need to go about 4 degrees past our 90, and then that should bring us back with the spring back, get us to our 90. All right, there we got just about 90 degrees there. It's not perfect, but that's all right. We can put a ratchet strap on it later once we get it up there to weld it, bring it square. Just needs a little bit of a bump, and I still gotta figure out my fine tuning with this second project with it. So we'll pull this block here, go on the next one, and get our second bend in. There we have it. 1.5 095 wall tubing, DOM tubing. Alright, with our blocks squared up, this should already be square with each other, because we did that in the first place. One of the nice things about this vendor. Alright, it's going to end up being a little bit higher than this. You can see how the roof here is slightly rounded. You can see up in here and stuff, so not a huge fan of that, but I think it'll work. We'll get this all up a little bit. Yeah, if we can get it high enough to where you can still pull the T-tops off at least without having to unbolt anything, that'd be good. And then everything else is going to be bolted up through the roof. Made this little jig real quick out of some angle iron and stuff, and then just another piece with the clamp. Hold it in there. That'll drop right in, and it basically lines right up. That way, if one of the cuts isn't squared or something, it'd leave a gap or something, but everything would be lined up still with the square. Or with the straight edge, I should say. All in there. And see it on the sides here. It's all lined up and stuff once you put a straight edge on it. So, tacked one side up already. You can kind of see here, there's a little bit more of a gap over here. Keep it straight because the cut's not completely straight. All I got is our bandsaw right now. But yeah, we'll throw that one in there. That actually looks pretty good. Alright, tell it's not completely square right out of the box. I mean, it moves a lot. Boom, right there, tack it. Tack! Got all the tubing tacked up and stuff. I had these cross braces made. I designed them and then I had them cut out and bent. I don't know how I'm going to lay them out yet, but basically how it's going to go, that'll be our center sections to give some support. You know, on the one end there'll be lights and stuff on here. You have the tent that'll take up the majority of the space in the back. It measures 60 inches wide, so this is 90, so we're gonna have about 30 inches to play with. The lights are gonna take up a little bit. So it'll be about 20, 24 inches or so up here, where we'll probably put some type of grating or something in there, expanded metal or whatever, for storage. And then, yeah, we gotta notch these out still. I wasn't sure where they were gonna land, but we're gonna end up notching these out. And then this ended up being 2 inches tall, so it'll have a little bit of overhang, but not bad, just about an 1/8 inch. And then get those tacked in and welded in. All right, guys, next day here, we got everything tacked up and stuff and mocked up for the most part. Outside what's gonna be on the front and stuff for the lights. These two rails here will support the tent. Everything will bolt through on these, all these slots and stuff, so plenty of spots to mount this tent to it. With these front two, I have this 24-inch grating stuff that's for like a storefront display, just laying around. I have a bunch of it. So I'm just gonna cut it to length, and it's 24 inches wide. So it's 24 inches wide and stuff, so it'll lay on top of these two for now, and that's what we'll do in the front in case we want to lay something up there, add some extra gears, a little more storage space and stuff. Lights will go in the front, have a bar up top and stuff to help protect the lights. And yeah, we'll start on mounting this thing up to the roof, or mounting it through the roof and stuff, and mounting it to the roll cage, getting everything secured, and hopefully be camping soon. Had the guys at work cut them out. These are going to be the rear cage mounts here. These will bolt up to the rear cage right there. And they couldn't bend these. I don't know, they can do 1/4 inch or whatever, but this is kind of overkill still. So we'll have to take a grinder, grind this down, and bend it. I don't have anything here to bend it. Then we have the front cage mounts here for the front. My idea was, this is the roof line here, let's say. Cage mount here, bolt will come up through here. We'll have to cut these down, make a spacer or something down here. So your bolt will still keep the hole as small as possible. Bolt will come through. Then your top roof rack will thread on, basically thread on and then push on here, push through here to give us a nice solid spot. Or we can make a larger hole in the roof and just make a pass through all the way, and then bolt up onto the brackets. Not sure what way we're gonna go yet or not, but we'll figure out once we get up there. Might not be bad just to put a 1-inch hole in there, but try to just keep it small for water and stuff. All right, rear brackets are made. Got them all welded up here. Now we gotta mount these. I'll show you what's going on. Clean up the tube right here. Well, the bracket will go on there. And then, here, this one's bolted up. Apparently I'm short a bolt, but that'll go in there like that. Then we'll drill a hole and stuff for the top here, and it'll bolt through. we got that one tacked in there. We just need to do the same to the other side. Then I'm gonna pull the top off again. That way we can weld all the way around it and go back to it. Foam actually broke when I was pulling this out, so if that helps us. Gotta pull this out still. It holds the foam in. But plan is move this stuff here and then try to get as close to the speaker box as we can get with it. It's up out of the way and stuff from your head if you're ever bouncing around back there. And it'll line up perfect with the roof. Alright, looks like we're good. Got plenty of room right here, about an inch or so like I figured we would. I'm not as far as I thought I would be. I thought it'd be more out here like the back. That's where I wanted it to be. I might end up making an extension or something here. Do that. We'll see where it all lines up with this first on the outside, which we should still be good. But see where it lands with the roof rack up there and stuff. Do some mock testing before I drill any holes. Filling in here, that hole should land like right here. That'll be perfect. Things not totally lined up, but yeah, that should be pretty good. About 2.5 inches off this rail, 1.5 or 2 inches off of this rail, so a good location spot for both of them. All right, all our brackets are done. Got the 2 back ones done now. And we got the tops. We can't see the light. Got the tops welded in. We'll paint them later once we pull the top back off and stuff. Are we pulling the top back off? We don't have to pull the top back off. No. We'll end up painting them here. Later, I know I'm gonna pull the top off again. Gonna put the top back on and stuff, locate our holes, make our mounts that'll go from the roof rack down to the brackets and stuff to hold it on. That should be center this way, and then we'll just find halfway and we'll make our mark. Here goes nothing. Had a mark right here. Let's see how close we are. All right, we got our holes drilled out for the mid here. Both sides cut out. What we're gonna do is make a plate. Basically just come out here, corner plate welded in, then this will weld straight to that plate and then bolt in on the bottom side there, inside the cab. Do that on both sides. Back here, They barely hit here, so I just welded that real quick and then lined it up, letting it cool off. We'll pull it off, weld it on the inside here. Won't be able to tell. We changed this up a little bit. I drilled a hole here, trying to get the bolt in on the bottom side and stuff was pain in that bracket, so we have these. This will drop right in, and then you just put a nut on there. Through the tent, we should be able to slide a wrench right through here to get it off. Because if I pull the rack, or if I pull the tent off, I'm probably pulling the whole rack off also, for the most part. The back's bolted up really good stuff, and then if you need like a little bit of play, you can always loosen them up down here and get it right. All right guys, time to paint this. We're gonna use the Rust-Oleum professional spray paint in black. We use this at work and stuff. It works really good and stuff on the piping and everything that we do. So I'm just gonna use it on here also. For now, we got it set outside. Everything's welded up on it now. We'll probably add, when we add our light brackets and everything, I'll just clean off that, but I wanted to get everything spray painted under where the rooftop tent's going to be and stuff, so all I have to do is a little touch-up painting and stuff later. It came with these longer bolts. They're metric. I don't know if those were just if the guy I bought it off of, if that's what he was using, or that's what it comes with. I ended up getting some 5/16 inch and a quarter long bolts, and they fit in there just fine. And that way I'm not having to run a nut all the way up there. They're pretty long, and they're probably gonna run into the roof anyways, and that's gonna shorten up how much we got thread on there. But we're gonna lift the tent up, slide these into place, lower it back down, bring the whole thing up so we can get under it, tighten them on there, go from there. Before I put this up here, we had it open before. I marked which way it opens up. That way I don't have to take all this off again. When I put it up, I know where it's going. That way, put it on which side you want it to fold over. Most people I've seen have it fold over the passenger side. All right, we got the SmittBilt awning here. We're gonna put this on the side, on the driver's side of the rack. We have these brackets that came with it, which aren't gonna work for our setup. So we're just gonna cut here, reuse these, because that'll go for the track already. And then weld in a piece in here, I think, and go on the tubes. That way make it easy to mount it and stuff back on there. Basically how they already had it before. Should be simple. We'll make another one if we think we need 3 once we get it up on there. All right, second thought here on that. I don't think we're gonna make a spacer. I think we'll take these and just weld it straight to the tube. If I get these centered up, it'll give me enough room for my bolts to clear the tube behind it, and it'll keep it nice and tucked up against the roof and the roof rack. All right, now that we got both brackets tacked up, we're gonna make sure this awning works and stuff and is where that we want it before welding them all the way out, because it'd be easier to cut out a tack than it is a whole weld. So yeah, we'll get a sneak peek of what this thing's gonna look like. So if you get these started, then it'll clear the bolt. This is a little bit shorter because it sticks out the back, which is all right, I guess. But then it also kind of sticks out the front. All right, we want to go camping this weekend, so we're going to leave this here. We're still waiting on lights and stuff, so we got lights going in the front, lights going in the back, maybe the sides, depending on if I can fit them in or not. But yeah, we want to go camping this weekend and stuff. Have a great weekend. And hit that thumbs up if this video was helpful. Leave a comment down below if you got any questions, or if you got any, leave a comment down below if you got any questions. And subscribe if you're not already. Thanks for watching. Peace.